So as we're touching the mat, we're noticing what support the body needs, but also checking in and seeing if the body needs any sort of movement to start. A few of you are just slowly finishing up foot rolling. I've locked the door here in the studio, so we've created a secure container for us to allow our nervous system to settle into the comfort of the safe space. And those of you joining us online have created a container for yourself, inviting in, if you haven't already, a few breaths in the nose and out the mouth. You might purse the lips and blow the breath out, lengthening the exhalation, which regulates the nervous system back into a place of well-being. Sometimes a sigh, a sound, the sound of the heart is coming in today, which some of you know, and it's the ha sound. So you might just invite in and exhale and just allow the sound of the heart. Ah. And if that felt nourishing, allow it to unfold again. Ah. Just taking the time that's needed to fully arrive here for your practice. The arms may be out to the side, on the floor, maybe palms up, palms down. Sometimes the touch of the hands on the body arrives just to offer a deeper sense of compassionate touch. Maybe notice if the hands do want to create contact with the body, where they instinctively want to go. You allow your eyes to either close or just soften and stay open. And the nervous system will dictate what feels most comfortable for it. Feeling your skin, the back body touching the floor, resting upon your props that you've invited to support yourself. We spoke last week about the relationship of the ball of the thigh bone into the socket. And so right now we're just going to sense the soft awareness of feet touching the floor. Notice the bottom of the feet, the top of the feet. Some of you might be able to feel the inner arch. And as your breath finds a rhythm in and out of the body, noticing your body in space and in contact with the mat and your props, but also allowing your awareness to gently climb inside of yourself and experience a gentle wonder of the breath. You open the body and your mind to receive the inhale. Allow yourself to expand. And as you exhale, you'll notice the diaphragm relaxing back up under the lungs and the belly deflating and the ribs gathering. Coupled with the gathering inside of yourself to arrive home is a heaviness of letting go. And then you just wait for the inhalation to arrive. You feel the air being drawn in. The diaphragm will lower down and contract. It will press on the abdominal organs, and that is what encourages the belly to expand. Some of you may even feel your lower back expand. The rib cage widen. You're ready to exhale. Feel the belly deflate. The ribs gather. The letting go, but the reconnecting inside of yourself. Notice at times as we move through the breath in your body that the body will ask you to adjust, to lift up parts of your body, maybe the limbs, maybe the torso, and just offer a little adjustment. As you continue to feel the breath flowing in and out, just notice your legs if you've supported them. How is the right leg resting on the support? How is the left leg? Feeling the spacious quality in the knee joint. As you rise up through the thigh bone. So this is our femur. It's our longest bone in our body. And so as you travel up from the knee through the thigh, the very end of the thigh is a ball. And it fits very snugly into the hip socket. We were exploring last week how sometimes if we have one leg that externally rotates out, then that ball of the femur is getting pulled away from the socket, and we get an over gripping of the hip flexors. Sometimes we feel discomfort in the back of our SI joints. So that's the sacrum and the ilium, the meeting point. So remember, your thigh bones have a little internal rotation. So if you notice that you have one side that externally rotates, you might have to internally rotate that side a little bit more, and then just allow it to be received in. And one way that you can feel this is pressing the feet just gently into the floor, but a little bit forward. And you'll feel your thigh bones being drawn towards the hip socket. So only about 30 or 40% effort here. And just keep a gentle pressing of the feet down and forward. Just hold that very soft pressure and just let your body realign around it. You might feel the heels, the soft touch of the toes. A little bit more equalness coming to the back of the pelvis. So we have the right side of the back of the pelvis and the left side. And then in the very center is the sacrum. So we not only want to feel right side and left side, but we want to feel the center as well. I'm just going to take a moment here for you to feel. Our knees are bent, so the lower back just has a very soft curve away from the floor. But when we connect to our core, if we root our feet a little bit more into the floor, you'll start to feel your lower back flatten and then press into the mat as well. So I just want you to try a couple times as you root your feet into the floor. So inner heel, outer heel, the toes, press them down into the floor, a little bit forward. And you'll feel your back of your pelvis press into the mat, and then exhale. Draw the lower belly in a little bit up, and you'll start to feel your lower back press into your mat, and it's spreading. You can even hold that and breathe a few rounds of breath with keeping the lower back in contact with the mat. Keep a little bit of effort in the feet. And as your awareness deepens, you'll start to feel not only the lower back pressing into the floor, but the upper middle back. So just above the lower back, we're in the lower thoracic spine. So it's your lower rib cage. You might notice one side has more contact with the floor than the other. Feel each shoulder blade, the head. Some of us, when I bring you to the head, might feel that the head needs to rock a little bit from left to right. And if you're experiencing any vertigo, then you're just keeping the head in center. Feel the arms come down heavy to the floor. Relax the eyes back. Just noticing that our body knows how to contract and knows how to hold tension. It's very good at this. But one of the things that we need to learn how to cultivate in body and mind is the letting go. And so you might even feel a little contraction wanting to happen. So you might even feel that you contract the hands into a soft fist. You contract the muscles in the legs and the arms and the face and the torso. And then you exhale out the mouth and you just let everything go. And you unwind. So we're going to do that again. So let the whole body contract, let the hands, the fists, the arms contract, the legs, the torso, even scrunch the face a little bit. And then as you exhale, let it all go. And we're going to do one last one. Allowing ourselves to bring in a little contraction, creating tension, and then letting go when you're ready. Sometimes if you notice the body or the mind holding a little bit more, you can do a practice of creating tension and then offering your body to release. You might just feel a little bit more of a letting go. Create a pocket of space for some silence, just about half a minute. We're going to start to move a little bit now. Just wiggle fingers, toes. You might decide if you have a bolster, even just to stretch out the legs and stretch the arms overhead. Just go back into that creating tension. And then just let it go. Let a yawn come in. And the knees can bend, they can come flat. Feet can touch the bolster, and then you can just push it off to the side, either with your hands or your feet. Draw the legs up. Give your body a hug, either hands on shins or on the back of the thighs. Just roll around on the back, so you're either rolling from left to right or circling. We'll just extend the arms and the legs in the air, shake them out a little bit. Do a few ankles and wrist circles. Now sense as your arms and your legs are in the air, just how are your legs tracking in the air? So go the other way. Just notice, is one leg externally rotating? Can you bring it in? Can you gently draw one thigh bone in towards the hip if it's pulling out? You'll notice, because you might feel how one hip lifts a little bit more. Okay, we're going to shake it out. And then we're going to grab hold of, we're going to go right into our core awareness. So we're going to bring the inflated slow-mo ball or a chip foam block under the pelvis if you feel the inflated slow-mo ball is unstable for you. Okay, so you're popping that underneath you. You're taking a moment just to exhale, just become heavy. Find earth. Always helpful to let the breath out the mouth a couple times and just give yourself that space to exhale. And then we're just going to slowly start to roll around on it. So just let the back of the pelvis receive a massage. Good. If you need an inflated one and you don't have one, just let me know. So we're just deepening our relationship to the ball in our body. You might feel that maybe you want to roll just on the back of the sacrum. You might even feel a little bit of rolling out to the side of the hips a little bit. Some of you might even sense, oh, I want the ball to come a little bit up into my lower back. So we're just going to take a little bit of time here to roll around on the slow-mo. So at the very top of the hip, we call it the crest of the hip, there's a ledge there. And so if you move the slow-mo ball up, you can feel just a rolling around from the crest of the hip to the lower back, that transition, what we would call from the sacrum to the lower back, the lumbar. Notice your breath is there. You allow the movement to be as slow as it needs to be. Good. And so you do want the ball under the pelvis more rather than the lower back when you do lift up your legs. So arms are down by your side, palms are down. And want you to feel as you exhale, allow the lower belly to draw back, and you'll feel the back of your hips press into the ball. So there's a pressing back into the ball. And then you're going to pull up and the legs are going to come up. And you're going to bring the thighs up towards your torso, knees bent. Good. Okay, we're going to do a little movement into the Tensegrity series of just going into scissors. So let the knees bend. And then I just want you to look at your feet in space. So notice as if the ceiling was right there, if your feet were flat on the ceiling. Is that alignment there? Can you bend the knees a little bit more and let the thigh bones drop towards the hip socket and really receive both ball into the hip, pressing a little bit the pelvis into the floor, lower belly draws in and up, ribs stay knitted. And then you're going to just check in to just the legs want to move, or if the arms want to move, the palms are facing each other. You got to stay heavy into the floor. Remember, if this is too unstable, pop it out for a block. So the right arm, right leg is going to come towards the torso. And the left arm and the left leg is going to move away. And then you're going to switch left arm, left leg towards you, right arm, right leg away. Good. Yes. Some of you will keep your head in center. Some of you will turn it to the side. Just feeling the fascia here. So we're getting into the fascia just underneath the surface of the skin, the subcutaneous fascia. It houses our sympathetic nerves as well. So sometimes when we're in sympathetic, in our nervous system, we can release it by just doing some fascia work, myofascia work, which we're going to do today. Okay, and then pause. I'm going to open the arms and the legs out to the side. Now, I really want you to pull the thigh bones in towards the hips as the arms open up. And then I want you to imagine that you have a big ball in between your arms and your legs, and you're going to squeeze it and blow all the air out. And then when you inhale, opening the arms and the legs, keep drawing the thigh bones towards the hip socket. And then squeezing the air as if you're gathering inner thighs, inner arms towards one another. You do that a couple times, and I'm just going to come up to watch. Yeah, keep rooting back into the ball. Good. Nice. One or two more times, and then just pause. Once you come back together, allow your arms to descend down to the floor. Bend the knees a little bit. Feel your feet are hip width apart. We're just going to do toe dips. So you want to watch here because the lower back wants to arch and the ribs want to come up towards the ceiling. So I really want you to allow the rib cage to draw in, knit the front ribs, allow the back body to descend towards the floor. Because we're on a ball, we can't feel the lower back pressing into the floor, but we can feel our rib cage rooting back towards the floor. Now you want to keep that. Sometimes I like to just put my hands on my rib cage and my upper belly, so above the belly button, you can do below, and just holding a containment there. Okay, then you're going to exhale and you're going to lower one leg down. Doesn't matter to me which one you choose. And you're going to lower the leg, keeping it bent. And the toes are just going to come. Some of you will touch the floor as if there's a little bowl of water and you just touch it. And then you bring the leg back up. And then you lower the other leg. No disturbance in your torso. Chin stays quiet. Throat and back of the neck stay evenly connected. Good. Toe dipping. Good. Just finish off one more time to each side. Okay, then once your legs come together, you're going to toe dip both legs. And so you might not touch the floor on this one. Pull up. Keep pressing into the ball and the floor as the legs go down. Drawing the lower belly in, knitting the ribs. I'm going to do a couple of these if it's a lot to take in. Keep internally rotating the thighs. Ah, there you go. Good. One last one if you can. Good. When you're ready, just set the feet down onto the floor, lift the hips up. Pull the ball out, pop it in between your thighs. And just take a moment just to let the legs wiper from left to right with the ball rolling in between the inner legs. You don't have to go very far. You're exhaling, you're pulling the thigh bones into the socket as the legs move to the left, inhaling to center and exhaling to the other side. Okay, we're going to do a little torso release here. So I want you to find your feet parallel. So some of us need to walk our feet together, line them up, and then walk them out so that they're hip width apart and they're parallel. And I just want you to root your feet down, press them into the floor, and then press them forward. So does that make sense when I say press them forward? Yeah? Can you feel your thigh bones come back into the socket a little bit when I say press them forward? You feel that when I say that? So when I say press them forward, you're pressing them this way, yeah, and then let your hips stay down low. And then when you press them forward, they're releasing this way. Okay, so when you're going forward, so I'm pressing down and then I'm pressing forward, which kind of is sliding, like if it was I'd be pushing my body, yeah, up towards the top of my mat. Okay, your hips can stay on the floor though. So a little bit less effort, pressing, and then receiving in this way. There. This one just went in. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay, so we're in the socket. Now you're gonna take your hands, you're gonna interlace them. So reach them up. You're keeping this little bit of pressing into the floor. Pelvis stays on the floor. So it's maybe about 20 or 30%. Arms reach up, interlace the fingers. Now you're gonna have a tight interlace because you're gonna wanna do that. That's how we normally do it. But I want you to open the weave of your fingers. So you've got a really nice weave of your fingers, but they're open. And then root the feet, squeeze the ball, press the lower back into the floor, lift up through the torso and the head and place your hands behind your head and then lower the head down just above the floor. Gather the inner elbows, create a little sling for your head. Okay, so the feet are rooting, pressing down and forward a little bit. You're receiving the thigh bones into the hip socket. You're rooting your back into the floor. And as you exhale, you're going to keep rooting the upper back and lift and lengthen your torso and your head away from the floor. So we didn't do this last week, but we did it the week before. Now I want you to relax your head into your hands. So the hands are leaning a little bit into the back of the skull. You widen your shoulder blades. Okay, then you're rolling down nice and slow. And we're gonna do that a couple times. So you're rooting and pressing the feet down, a little bit forward, pulling the thigh bones into the socket. They just automatically go there. The lower back roots into the floor, presses the lower back ribs, the torso lifts, lengthens off the floor with the head. You relax the head at the top. You lower back down. And you're gonna do one more time. Root the feet, receive the thigh bones, press the lower back, the middle back into the floor. And now you're going to start to release your hands from the back of the skull. Check your shoulders. Take your hands down and touch the top of your shoulders and your neck. Can you keep your trapezius muscles a little bit softer? Okay, then extend your arms so your palms are up and your fingers and your hands are beside your thighs. You keep rooting the feet, and then you're going to reach your left arm, touch your shin. Your torso is going to come to the side, and then you're going to come back to center, and you're going to reach your right arm to touch your shin. So these are core abdominal, transverse abdominis exercises. They also work your obliques. Just touching from side to side. Keep rooting the feet, keep squeezing the ball, keep rooting the back body into the floor. Try to have your neck and your shoulders as relaxed as you can. Okay, once you've done the same amount of touching the shins on each side, you're going to interlace your hands behind your head and slowly flow down. Take a moment to rest. Okay, you're going to do that one more time. So if you have a lot of tension in your neck and your shoulders, you need to do more pressing of the back body into the floor, pressing and rooting your feet, inner heels and outer heels. Okay, so just take a moment before we go up. Notice what it feels when I say inner heels on both feet. What does it feel like when you press the inside of your heel? What does it feel like when you press the outside of your heel? Can you do the whole heel? And then a little toes, both feet. Receive the thigh bones. So notice your effort. Can you balance that effort so it's not too much? Interlace your fingers again, but see if you can switch your interlace. So whatever thumb was on top, you're going to be one-sided that you tend to go on. You want to switch all your other fingers. Release the weave of your fingers, widen your shoulder blade, root down, root the back body, lift up through the torso, roll back down. I'm going to do that again. Press the feet, receive the thigh bones, draw the belly back. Lift up through the torso, relax your head at the top, roll back down. And this next time when you come up, relax your head and then release your hands, palms are up. And then you're going to reach left hand to touch your shins and then back to center and then right. I'm just going to come up to watch. There you go. Watch your neck and your shoulders are not there. Good. Linda, how's this one for you? The new one, right? Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting how we want to do it with our neck, right? We want to do it. And sometimes, and you're going to bring your hands back and lower back down. And sometimes when the gaze, you notice right now what you're doing is the gaze tends to be more up rather than forward at the legs, right? So sometimes if we're pulling the head or we're straining the neck, we're looking more at the legs, but when our neck is kind of hanging off the core and our head, we're more looking up. Yes, yes, yeah, there it is. And the back is pressing more into the floor. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we're going to release the upper body. Yeah, it takes a little bit, right? This is one of the recordings that will be shared over the holidays. So over August, so you'll have this one. You want to make sure that if you have a wall above you, that you've shimmied down away from the wall so you have enough room to reach the arms overhead. We're now going to release the torso. Okay, so the feet, they know parallel. We still have the slow-mo ball there if it feels right. A little bit of rooting. And we've got our strap close by too. It's being called in today. So it's just beside you, so you don't have to look for it. So just put it down beside you. Doesn't need to be looped. Perfect. Arms are by your side, palms are down. So keep a little level of pressing the feet down and forward. Receive the thigh bones. So the pelvis, resist the pelvis from lifting right now. Heavy. You're going to keep quiet torso as you inhale, arms come up, fingers point to the ceiling. Then you're going to exhale. You might need to widen the arms apart to bring them up overhead. And some of you will not touch the floor, and that's okay. Keep your back rib cage and your shoulder blades on the floor. Inhale when you're ready, arms come up, fingers point to the ceiling. Exhale, arms come down. Your palms should be touching the floor when your arms come down beside your hips. And you're going to go on your flow. Inhale, arms come up, fingers point to the ceiling. Exhale, overhead. Notice if one shoulder needs to draw down. So we talked last week, when you're ready, you're reaching arms up and arms down, that the shoulder socket is like a pear shaped. So it's shallow at the top and deeper at the bottom. So when you reach your arms up and you go overhead, you can feel your shoulders rising up to your ears. So just pull the ball of the shoulders down towards the bottom of the socket. Okay, then you're going to bring your arms up and back down. You can do that one more time, just at your own rhythm. See if when the arms go overhead, if you can draw the ball of the shoulder down into the depths of the socket. Good. Once your arms are down by your side, just pause there. We're just layering. You're going to grab your strap now. And you're going to hold it. So you're going to find a distance, and shoulder width is a little bit wider than what we normally will take into effect. And so you're going to hold the strap. And I want you to notice neutral wrists. Okay, so try not to torque the wrists back. Find neutral wrist. And let the hands be as far apart as they need to. And then the arms will start down. So the strap is just above the top of your thighs. Your arms will not be on the floor for this one. Okay, and you're gently going to pull the strap apart. Settle the shoulders down into the bottom of the socket right away. Feel your feet, the slow-mo ball, the block gathering. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, overhead, gentle traction for pulling the strap apart. Don't worry about touching the floor. And you're going to bring the arms up and back down. Thanks. I'm going to come out and watch. And you're going to flow a couple times. Notice, can I ease off the grip of my hands? Some of you holding on as if you really need to hold on to the strap, but see if you can soften it just a little bit. Find an evenness of pulling out. Doesn't have to be too much. Remember, your effort could be about 20 or 30% on these. Good. Yeah, nice. Quiet torso. And then notice, did one feel a little bit more nourishing than the other? Did you like the feeling of the strap, or did you like the feeling of not having the strap? So just choose if you want to do a couple more with or without the strap. And feel the spreading across the collarbones, a quiet torso. And if you're still using the strap, just finish off. We're going to bring the pelvis into it now. So the strap's just off to the side. Arms are by your side, palms are down. So just take your time to arrive here. We'll go up together. We'll flow together as a group again. So take a breath, exhale, become heavy. Do that again. Good. Now feel your feet. Little rooting down and forward. Feel your thigh bones receive in towards the socket. Squeeze the ball and allow your pelvis this time to start to float. Now remember, if you have support behind your head, you pull it out for this one. Chin lowers down towards the throat as the pelvis lifts. Now feel your toes rooting, just your toes on both feet. Down and forward. Notice you can feel, some of you might be able to feel the top of your thighs a little bit more. Notice if one thigh bone needs to ease off. Imagine that your pelvis is kind of weighted on a serving tray so it stays level. And then just start to root and press your heels down. Inner heel, outer heel, back of the heel. A little bit forward. Keep feeling the relationship of both thigh bones, the ball of the hip. Okay, now inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, overhead while the hips are lifted. Check in with the lower back. Is it spacious? Is it spreading? Okay, when you're ready, you're going to reach the arms back up. And as the fingers point to the ceiling, you're going to lower the arms and the pelvis down to the floor at the same time. Okay, good. We're going to do that one more time. So when you're ready, rooting feet, toes, heel. Allow there to be a little bit forward in your feet. Receive the thigh bone. Gently just let the pelvis float up. It doesn't need to go very high. Good. Then when you're ready, arms float up, fingers point to the ceiling, exhale overhead. Good. And you might hover there, stay there for as long as you want. When you're ready to come down, the arms will start the movement. And as the fingers are up in the air, the arms lower down and the pelvis lowers down at the same time. Okay. And just self-guide yourself through another one. Start with your feet. Exhale, become heavy. Receive the thigh bones. Let the pelvis float up. Try not to go too high. Still feel spreading and spaciousness in your lower back. Let the arms float up and overhead. Chin lowers down. Good. You come out when you're ready, no rush. Okay, when you're ready, you're just going to take the slow-mo ball out. You're going to rock the legs a little bit, draw them in towards the torso. Let's go into baby pose to release that. So you just want to have the thighs coming up towards the torso, knees bent, and then you just separate them a little bit. And just let the thigh bone and the ball of the hip socket find their relationship. So your pelvis and your lower back should stay on the floor. A lot of the time we lift the pelvis away from the floor in this one, but there's contact. So when the shins and the feet come up, as if the feet are going to stand on the ceiling, we choose, do our hands want to go behind the thighs? If they do, there's an opposition of the hands leaning into the thighs leaning up into the hands. If not, we're holding ankles or feet. Same thing. Hands are pulling the legs down and the legs are reaching up. So there's opposition. So your pelvis stays heavy, much as you can in contact with the floor. And then you choose, do I want to wiper and swing the leg a little bit from side to side? We're going to do a little bit of a deeper hip release here. So you gauge how this feels for you. You're going to keep your left leg in the air and you're going to drop your right foot to the floor, knee bent. Just keep feeling the thigh bone release into the socket, especially the left. And you can just stay here, or you can extend that right leg. Keep rolling the thigh in on the right leg as the heel just slides across the floor. You might reach through the toes. You might choose to roll the leg out a little bit and in, but it's done with a slow intention. You might push through the right heel a little bit and point through the toes a little bit. If you do that pointing and pushing through the heel, you roll the thigh in a little bit more. Just doing a little bit more release through the whole leg today. And you're going to slide that right leg back, bring it up. Find baby pose on that side, release left leg. Take your time. Once the left foot touches the floor, just pause there for a moment. Feel the opposition, then you're internally rotating that left leg as it lengthens. The heel is just sliding across the floor. Good. You can reach through the toes a little bit. Keep that internal rotation, releasing just the hip flexor here. You might roll the leg out and in. Going a little bit deeper into the hips today. You might root through the heel of the left leg. And when it feels complete, you'll just slide the leg back, take your time, go back up into baby pose with both legs one more time. You might rock. And then just settle the feet. Take a moment here just to pause. Let them drop to the floor. Just notice how you're lying. Knees can be bent, they can be straight, whatever feels good. Just let yourself pause for a moment. You might notice an exhale out the mouth. Just let whatever's not needing to be carried within body or mind, just let it release at the exhalation. Maybe the sound of the heart, maybe a pursing through the lips, maybe something else comes in. Taking some breaths, as many as you need to. Just doing a pause. A couple more breaths here. It's rare sometimes that we just take time to be still in awareness. Okay, so we're going to go into some strengthening of the back. So you're going to roll over onto your belly, and depending on how you're orientated in the studio, you might flip yourself around just so that your head is in the center of the studio, so there's a visual. Just going to do a little neck release here. So as you wiggle the pelvis around, you might find that the toes want to tuck under for a moment, and you want to just root through and reach through the heels, the thighs, and the knees will come off the floor. You might stack your hands, palms down on top of one another. Let your forehead rest on the palm of your hands. Reach a little energy out the crown of your head forward as you reach through your heels back and down. Just lengthening whole back line. Let your forearms and your elbows feel heavy. You might even feel lengthening through your triceps and your elbows forward as your head reaches forward. Just creating some space in the whole tractioning of the body. And then you're going to soften that, allow the feet to come down, top of the feet are on the mat. Arms are going to come down, palms up, back of the hands on the floor. Okay, so your chin is just on the floor. Okay, so become heavy, exhale. Heavy as you can. Good. Now start to press the lower belly, the belly button, the hip bones into the floor. You'll feel the torso and the head floating up. Some of you, your legs will float up or not. Just keep rooting down, keep spreading the lower back. Just be there up high for a moment and then lower down, nice and controlled. And do that a couple times. So when you're ready, exhale. Start to press into the floor. The torso, maybe the legs will just float up. Beautiful. And lower down when you're ready. And just take a moment to become heavy again. And do it one more time. Whenever you're ready, you're rooting on the exhale. Now I want you to feel here that maybe you even imagine that your thighs are leaning out a little bit if you need a little bit more spreading of your lower back. Just lean the legs out. And when you're ready, you're going to lower down. The head might turn to the side. You might just wiggle the body on the floor. Some of you might lift the shins and the feet off the floor and let them wiper from left to right. You turn your head to the other side. Notice if the legs want to stay in the air, if they want to descend to the floor again. And once you're ready, the shins and the feet are coming down. We're going to go into the cactus arm variation. So we've been working the upper body, isolating it a little bit more. So the forearms are parallel to the body. You want to really check in. Are my triceps, my elbows in line with my shoulders? Sometimes we want to pull them down, but I want you to bring them up. And then I want you to check that the palm of the hand's on the floor, but also your wrist is on the floor. So sometimes we tend to want to break the wrist and contract the upper part of the forearms. So that's your extensor muscles in your forearms. You know, become heavy. So just exhale. Okay, so same thing that you just did. Start to root the lower belly, the belly button, the hip bone into the floor. Lift the back of the hands. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Good, nice. Hover here for a moment. Descend when you're ready. Good. One more time. Root down heavy. Let your body descend. If you need a little bit more space in your lower back, remember you can reach through your legs. You can press the legs out, squeezing the upper, middle, bottom part of your shoulder blade. The more you root down, the lighter you become. You come down, and if you want, you do one more time. So you ask body, do I want to go up again? If your body says yes, you go up again. If not, you rest. You swing the legs in the air. Okay, we're going to reach one arm up. We're going to roll on our back. This is one time when you do need to do another 360 and flip around if you want to have a visual into the center of the room again. We're going to go into leg stretches for a moment before we do a little bit of other work on the hips and the shoulders. So some of you are going to have a bolster by your left leg. Some of you are going to have a Slow-mo ball. Some of you are going to have a block. I've got a bolster and a Slow-mo ball. My body was uncertain what it needed, so I just put both in there. Okay, take a moment. Exhale. Become heavy. Take another breath. Let it out the mouth. Find heaviness. Just check in how your lower back and middle back is feeling. So it should feel like we were working the muscles, but not a lot of discomfort. So sometimes if we're overworking when we lie back, we might feel discomfort in the sacrum or the lower back. So just taking a few breaths to unfold. We're going to bring our right leg up into our body. Left leg gently presses down and forward. And we're going to either grab back of the thigh or the shin. Just take a moment to lean the leg up into the hands press into the leg, and you're going to feel your lower back on the right side rooting back into the floor. A little bit of space coming in the back and the hip. Okay, let go of the rooting. Lengthen the leg up. Notice how your leg is tracking in space. And have a little bend to the knee. And you're just going to circle the legs. You might hold the back of the leg. You might just have one hand, but you're going to circle the leg in space. So we're rolling around in the hip socket. I'm going to go both directions. Feel the relationship of the ball into the socket. Now notice, has your left foot stopped pressing down and forward? If so, just have a little bit and let the thigh bone be received so that left hip stays heavy. Good, and we're just gonna pause, just hold this release through the back of the hamstrings. Remember, when we reach up, if you want, through the heels a little bit up towards the ceiling, your pelvis does opposition. It pulls in and presses into the floor on the right side. Just releasing the hamstring. Good. Some of you may like to go into the point and the flex and just transition in between the two. Some of you may want to just hold the heel up. Just remember, if you're reaching up through the heel, you're not only reaching up through the back and the outside of the heel, but also through the inside. You're always meeting that with opposition. So when there's a reaching up, something has to press back. Good. When you're ready, you're going to re-bend that knee. You're going to exhale. You're going to roll onto your left side. So you're either supporting the lower leg, okay? That left leg, you're supporting it, or you're taking a block or a bolster and you're popping it in between the thighs. You can have a slow-mo ball, but you want to have the knees stacked. Okay, draw the thigh bones in. Arms, if they choose, are out in a T. If not, your right hand can be on your torso, and then you extend the left leg. So you're reaching through the inner heel, the bottom, the top, the outer. So if your foot is on a wall, so there's a little reaching out, but then you're also pulling the thigh bone back towards the hip. Yeah, how's that feeling? Feels like it's coming in now. So there's what I would say in, right? So there is out, so you can feel that reaching out. There is in. See how you just settled, and then you just want to drop your rib cage. There it is. See now? Huge difference. There it is. Right? Yeah. You can feel it. It's there. And this rib cage too. Yeah. Right? So it was popping up. So what I'm doing is I'm getting you to feel, there it is. It's a back. There it is, into my hand. Yeah, and see how your shoulders just see, you're like, oh, you're just gonna snuggle in. Yeah, there's a lot more ease there. It's effortless. There's effort, but it's effortless. Yes. Okay, so you take your time to be there for as long as you want. It's a new place for me. It targets, right? Because you're not pulling out. When you're pulling out, then things have to contract to hold it away from the socket. But when you pull it in, it fits nicely in the socket, and then there's a relationship, right? So there's a stretch. Yeah, you just got to keep that connected. It's right rib cage for you. Okay, so once you come out, good. You take a moment to pause, you rearrange. Okay, you move your props if you used any to the other side, and then you're going to draw left leg in. So I'm going to be off camera for a moment as a visual. I'm just going to pop around, see what it is. You're going to bring your hand to the back of the thigh or the shin, and you're pressing the hands a little bit into the leg and the leg into the hand. Good. And then you're allowing that thigh bone to drop down into the socket. And you're feeling that opposition here. Amazing when we get that, right? The words of always my teacher, she's always in, she's like, Michelle, you know how to tense, but we have to learn how to relax, right? And it's so true. And sometimes when the body unravels, you're like, oh, there it is. Right? And your body was calling over, it was saying, oh, come to me. So when you're ready, you're going to extend the leg, okay? You're feeling opposition here. How is it communicating with your SIs in this one? Can you feel how one side is pulling out? Is it this one? Thought it was. I could feel it. I can't really see it. Internally, yeah, I can see it. But it was this one that I could feel. I would bend your knee a little bit. Yeah, there you go. There. That's it. And then just root this foot. Keep that. Don't lose that. Root this foot down and forward and pull that in. There you go. There. Now you're connected on both sides. You see that? Now your ilium and your sacrum are in communication. Before it was that. Yeah, and when one is pulling out all the time, then it's torquing, right? Okay, so you're doing point flex, circling, and then you're bending the knee back in, and then you're transitioning to the side. Yeah, so then it's that, right? Then the ilium and the sacrum sometimes are doing like that or like that. Yes. In. Yeah, it balances. And sometimes I'll just lie there and I'll just keep my feet gently tractioning and just let myself realign from that. It's a nice one, right? Yeah, we practiced this last week, so we were just going over it again. Good. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna pull and there's your in. Don't forget that. Okay, relax. You're tensing into me, so let your pelvis sit back. There it is. There it is. Keep pulling in. Pull that in. Pull it in. There it is. There it is. Pull it in. And reach it out through the heel and pull it in. Out and in. There it is. There it is. There it is for you. Yeah? That's what we were working on yesterday. That's it here for you, right? You notice the difference? Okay. It's work for you, but yes. It's okay though, because I actually think it's in alignment for you. So if you pull in there, that actually is not really going back. It's just actually aligning. Yeah. No. I would just let this relax a little bit. There we go. Ah, there we go. That was good. Yeah. Yeah. That's it for you. Ooh, yes, you've got the wall. No, stay where you are. When you're ready, you decide when this is complete. Yeah. How does that one feel? It's coming. Okay. Okay. I see it now. You can put your hand here sometimes. There it is. Yeah, so you've got to pull this one in then. Use this foot to traction. There it is. Yes. Right? Yes. So if you're going to have this with no support, this foot has to be working. Working. And it's got to also be in. So it's not only one thigh bone, it's both. And your right wants to always pull out for you. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So when you're ready, you're going to come out. Oops, sorry. So that feeling, right? As you're here, see, look at my foot. And then yeah, you want an effort. It's less effort than what you think it is. Yeah. You did. You found it. You found it. Feels like it. It's more a little bit of inner thigh. Pull in on the inner thigh. Inner thigh. Okay, so we're gonna end. Wow. I was looking at time. We're supposed to be ending right now, if you can believe it. But I do, my inner voice is saying, Michelle, you should look at the time. And I looked over and I was like, oh, it's 12:07 or 10:17. I feel like I could go for like another half an hour, but what we're gonna do is just take a moment to start to do a little bit of ball rolling. Okay, so notice, ask your body, is it chest? Is it shoulders? Is it hip? Do you need to go into a figure 4? Do you need to rest your leg up on a bolster? Does your body request for something else? Okay, so here's the leg up on the bolster. Okay, ball roll. Might do shin, foot, might do chest, might be the lower back. Okay, so we're just gonna take 5 minutes, 2.5 minutes per side. Use your breath. Keep thinking of this awareness of in and out of the thigh bone. I think it's coming though. It's coming now. You're able to feel. That's huge. Yeah. I had a feeling if you came to the studio, I could just like put you in and then you'd be able to feel it. Yeah, because when I got you to root at the and I think you are. I think it just doesn't all over you. No, that's the one thing that I've been finding is this. Yeah. Yeah. It's deep. If you've done one side, we should notice where we are, what needs to finish up on the side, and then transition into a pause for a few breaths, and then flip over to the other side. So when we do myofascial release, then we're working on releasing all the tension, the holding in the fascia. So the fascia releases a hormone, a protein in the fascia once it's been under stress for a certain period of time, even for a short time. And then that's what starts to tighten the skin and the superficial fascia. And so when we do myofascial release, meaning myo muscles and fascia, we are ball rolling. We start soft, and then we can allow the pressure to grow as long as it's pleasant. Okay, we're not forcing into the fascia in any way. We're easing in, we're allowing the fascia to let us in. Good. Yeah. Yeah. In the sternum area, right? Mm. Yeah. A little bit. So one of the things is offering yourself a little bit more compassion. Be gentler on yourself, you know. Sometimes it's just
You are exactly where you need to be. And you've got this. What is here? What is here is what is supposed to be. So maybe is one of them. Relax.
good, Nessa. You're going against the wall, which is perfect. So you're just checking in. Once you've completed, how do you want to rest? Is there resting against the wall with the legs up the wall? Like if you're at home on a couch, here in the studio, are you putting some support underneath you again? Let's just find a moment where we just pause together. And let the breath out the mouth if you haven't already. Just notice how when we come together and practice, whether we're online or in person, how we gently hold and support one another. Sometimes when we come in, if we've been online practicing and we come into the studio, It might help just to deepen the practice, deepen our understanding of being in person. And then we can take that integration back out when we go home. Because we've been focusing on the relationship of the ball of the two ball and socket joints, hips and shoulders. Some of us have been able to feel, there's the relationship. And there's effort, but it becomes effortless. And I was offering up to Universal Consciousness today of what was the poem, what was the piece of reading that needed to come in. And I just paused and went inside myself, took a few moments of silence, and then I was guided to one of Donna Fald's poetry books, and it's called From Root to Bloom. And I just opened it up. And this is the piece that arrived. And I really like it because it's called Buoyancy. I'll share it with you. I've regained a natural buoyancy, as if the spirit in me just won't stay down for long. It still surprises me to be the witness of these moods. Overnight, I can shift from sad and brooding to joyous. In one day, I may feel grief, contentment, anger, ease, and bliss. Feelings lift and lower like a rowboat on the waves. I am neither the stories I tell myself nor the emotions that accompany the tales. I am the one who witnesses, who sees the spider spin her web without getting caught in the sticky threads. I am the one who witnesses the spider spin her web without getting caught in the sticky threads. Thank yourself. Thank yourself for the level of introspection, the inner awareness that it takes to be mindful of the relationship of how those balls of the thigh bone and the balls of the shoulder socket fit inside of the grooves of the joint. The relationship that you feel of finding effort, but also spaciousness and ease. Knowing that our body knows how to hold and create tension. But that learning to let go and release is a learned response. We are made of energy, prana. And when we're in this alignment of wholeness, things are coming in and we're experiencing them, we're witnessing them, but then they're flowing through us. So notice at times when your body has a tendency or a habit of gripping and storing it. And when you become mindful of that storing and gripping, you then can go inside and open and release and create a new pathway. So when you're ready, just taking whatever came in for you today, an awareness, let the body wiggle and move, adjust, You'll slowly roll over onto one side, your side of choice, and make your way up into a seated. So just take your time, there's no rush. Your legs will either choose, once you're seated, to be straight or crossed. Or maybe the feet choose to be on the floor and the knees are bent. If you're seated in this position, have a little bit of rooting through your feet, pressing down and forward. If you're cross-legged, you might even feel that you sweep the hands over the pelvis. Okay, and you pull the thigh bones in towards the socket. Your feet, the sides of the feet, might even just press a little bit into the floor. And then there's a pulling up inside. Arms stay quiet off to the side, palms forward. We end as we always do, letting the arms float up on an inhale. Palms will touch. We exhale and receive. And let this happen 2 more times. So there's always a level of a little bit of engagement. And then you soften around it. And the 3rd time, just pause your hands at your heart if you wish. And let the eyes open. And the head find center. You'll know you're in center because the gaze is straight ahead. It's not up, it's not down. Pleasure to be in studio and online practicing together. So this recording I'm going to make so that you can use it all through August, because it has some really valuable stuff in it. Next week we're going to start standing and then come down to the floor. So it will be a different practice. So you'll have 2 different ones. Also just wanted to share, because we all have to get up from the floor, getting up from the floor without using your knees. We've been practicing this. We've been exploring it. I've been exploring it. Okay, so you want to choose which foot. I'm going to keep it on the recording. Which foot do you want to stand on? So one leg comes in and one leg comes in front. So you check, is it your left leg in front? Is it right? What feels better for you? Okay, whatever foot is in front, that is the arm that goes out to the side. Okay, the leg that is closest to you, your hand goes down on the floor. And so there's a momentum here. I'm going to go really slow. You're going to bring this arm back. It's going to come around. So I'm going to slow it down. When it presses into the floor, both hands, your front foot presses into the floor, the hips lift. Okay, so it becomes a rooting down, lifting. Hands walk back, root down through the floor, pull up into standing.